Hey guys, welcome to another session of Epic 7. Yes, I still play Epic 7. It's a surprise to you, it's a surprise to me as well. In terms of this new content, Rift is the end game content right now, and is of course very rewarding for players who have played from the beginning, like myself, or if you're already end game. This is rewarding because now you can use that quote-unquote PvE gear that you roll all the time, and you can actually see some benefit coming out of this. This video is not gonna be like, what is Rift, how to do it. I'm just gonna showcase my team and my run here. Honestly, it's been a while since PvE content has gotten me excited, and this one was difficult enough. It had the balance of being difficult and then rewarding at the same time. I'm gonna showcase my Rift Control level 8 team. Just the story behind this is that while I was grinding from level 6 to level 7, my team, with the stats I will show, was pretty consistent, getting around like 49% of the boss's health down, sometimes even 50. So I knew that if I hit level 8, I could get a consistent two tap rather. So a total of 60 energy for a possible of 4 pieces. That is omega value. I would still suggest probably doing hunts during hunt buffs, because the crafting material increase and the gold and all that kind of stuff. Either way, there are people who are way smarter than me doing the math on that, whether it's valuable or not. But for me, for my team, for the amount of energy I need to spend to kill the boss at the moment, Rift is definitely going to be my my go-to. So I don't think this video is going to be very helpful for a beginner trying to do this, so I wouldn't suggest watching this if you are, and apologies if I'm not making those kind of guides. But for people who are already end game, I would suggest you could consider my team. I think this is a pretty good team. I'm using the Rift Fragments, 15% extra damage dealt. You don't need the healing if you do it right, and you also don't need this if you have enough debuffs. So I would suggest going to the 15%. This guarantees a kill. I actually had a run where one of my runs did 60% of the health, and the second run had like 14 Rift Counterforce turns left. So it was way overkill. What the game changer was is honestly this fragment on level 8. The Soul Weaver not being affected by defense pen is a huge deal for my run. I'll explain why if we stumble across it, but this is a huge game changer. This is what got me from a 50% health per run into like a 60% health per run. This was the big game changer for me. So I'm gonna run this, and then again, this is a live recording, yeah, we're just gonna go. So this is the placement. I do have my Ken at an 8 imprint, so it's helping a bit at a 6.5%, but I'll just let this run, and then I'll kind of walk through it. First things first though, what I do like doing, because Rift right now does require a bit of babysitting. No one can have a team where they're just like not watching what Rift is doing at the moment, unless you are 100% confident. Basically, if I don't get the defense break on turn 1 there, I do just reset, yield 3 times, and then start the boss fresh. That's what I do, just because I don't want to waste a run or make it 3 runs instead of 2. So the difference between 2 and 2, everybody could do the math. Obviously, you'll want to try to get to that 2. Based on some other people's videos, this team comp can apparently one-tap the boss, but at max level with the right fragments. So I'm gonna go with this team, and this might mitigate my need for getting Kane. So I might just stay with this team. Now, what's important to note about the Soul Weaver one was on his first turn, he didn't do enough damage to my Hazel. So my Hazel actually does an S2 and S1s. And what that does is that makes sure that he does get the co-op battle, or whatever it's called, manual to plus ×5, and that actually changes my entire run structure. It gets me attack buffs when I need it. It gets me him to knock me out of stealth, so on his ultimate turn I don't get blown to bits, Jacko that is, and then it causes a very, very, very consistent run. Now after the first defense break, this is why I said that at the beginning, if I don't get that first defense break, I just yield 3 times, reset the boss. Because after this, realistically, Ken's ignore ER defense break is really what's holding the game. As you can see here, my haste is actually going to line up his S3 right when the boss does this. His S3 when he cleanses himself, right? So I mean, I got lucky there, but he would have not have the defense break on regular. So I'm actually gonna do way more damage than I was even planning. Usually he doesn't have a defense break on that turn after his ultimate. So far this is really good RNG. Actually, I'm keeping up my defense breaks way more than I needed, but usually I can lap around here with Ken with his vigor and his S2, and he'll be able to defense break and I'll be able to kill. So as you can see, this rotation is really good because that prevention of defense pen artifact on the Soul Weaver, the Fragment, is keeping her from having to use the S3 all the time, so that I can have attack buffs up when the defense break is applied. And so either way, the difference of level 8 versus my level 6 and 7 was a huge difference. Not just the damage, but really that fragment, that Soul Weaver fragment makes all the difference. So you can see this is very, very consistent. In fact, I will run the second one as well. So you guys see this live recording, it's very, very consistent. I'm getting very lucky as well, I'm landing blinds. You don't need that to survive, and I wish I could prove that, maybe on my second run here. But as per usual, my videos are not really edited. So yeah, we're just gonna have live commentary going throughout here. See, this lines up, right? My haste does his ultimate here, and he has his ultimate, right? I am in stealth here, so usually I would be dead, but I'm not. He actually fully hit, he didn't miss. If I do get crit, I do die. That is probably the only inconsistent part, if he crits. But generally I get knocked out by then. It just depends on the debuffs you land. And obviously the more debuffs you have, the more or the less buffs the boss has, so therefore less damage. So there are ways to survive his ultimate with Jacko. And again, I'll show my builds before I do the second run. So that was way beyond 50%, I believe. Yeah, so he's at 42. So let me just stop that here for a sec. So 42% left, right? And that's pretty decent RNG, I won't lie. But usually this means it's a 2-tap for sure. So let me showcase the builds first, and then we're gonna run the second one. Hopefully I get to see some of the bad RNG, so you guys can know how consistent this is. Give me a sec, sorry. I'm just gonna leave this in the freaking video. I'll timestamp the YouTube so you guys can just skip around. But here are my builds. So first, Jacko. I am not using a maxed artifact. Man, imagine had a maxed artifact. This would be super amazing. It is at an S, so like I said, it's not gonna be like you know, free to play friendly, so to speak. But here are the stats. The effectiveness for fun, I guess, but it's really just because it was what's left over from my, you know, other rage heroes. So that's not necessary, the effectiveness, that is. But Jacko's artifact does give 10% effectiveness, so if you do have this artifact, you can consider running that on your other damage dealers. So this is my Ken, and this is how I'm getting the blind as well. For me, the rotation of my heroes, having these artifacts on is really, really good because I don't overstack debuffs when I don't need it, so I always, you know, manage to get a defense break in. But I'm also not relying on RNG to proc, so for example, like a haste on Dust Devil or something like that, to proc extra turns when I don't need it. But yes, this is pretty good, and if I had better, you know, artifacts in terms of like max higher level, better chance to inflict. But my Ken is using Hazel's passive 10% effectiveness plus Jacko's artifact to get that 105 effectiveness, so that's where he's at right now. I wish I can give him better gear, I just don't have the gear to make him that much better. You know, this is like very attack focused, but with the attack buff, and he doesn't really do too badly with attack, I'm okay with it, it's fine. My haste is probably like one of my best builds on this. So I did have a couple extra haste, so I did you know, imprint him, and he doesn't need that much effectiveness because I got an Alabastron. And again, if you have a higher level 1, you have higher chance of actually doing this, these debuffs, which is good. And again, I'm not going to walk through the mechanics. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you already know how to do the boss, but just really quick showcase of the gear here. I had some decent gear, and he actually sometimes out damages my Jacko, believe it or not. I actually didn't showcase the damage, but I should have. And then the last one is Hazel, right? So yeah, Hazel on Touch of Red Cross. So I'm gonna give a credit to where it's due. You know, this could have been on videos, could have been talked about, but the person I heard it from is from my Discord channel. His name is Med, so I'm gonna give him a credit for that. This changed my run like immensely. So if Touch of Red Cross goes off and your team's not like in like danger, she's not gonna S2, so she does S1 instead, and that does help in terms of just, you know, maintaining the cycling better. And the cycling that I had and that you witnessed is like not RNG at all. If you get the turn, you touch a red cost, and it does heal proportional to her. Proportional to the target's max health. Sorry. But it does help a lot, and as you saw the run. So this is the gear I have on my Hazel. I could get more ER there, but I'm not gonna min-max this because there's no other pieces I could replace to make her build any better. The speed I have her at 230 is just speed tuned with my haste, realistically, and I don't think I can optimize them any better than I can right now. Outside of maybe Ken getting more damage if I get the right pieces or whatever. Maybe Torrent set on haste even. Yeah, so let's go and run it, and I'll try to remember after this run I'll show the damage. But since he does have less than 50% health, you know, that might not be super accurate how much damage I'm doing. But either way, let's run it. And so right now, because I have 3 turns left, what I still do on this is that, you know, if I fail the defense break on turn 1, I just opt to just cancel it. If I'm lazy, I think at 40% health, I can even risk just seeing if Ken's S2 lands. And if it doesn't, well, I'm lucky with the blinds. I'm very lucky with the blinds. That's not supposed to happen. But I don't rely on the blinds, but it does make my run even more consistent. Like if without the blind, I'm at like 95% consistency, then with the blind, I'm at like 100%. There's like very little way that my Jacko does die to him, but I am curious, and I would like to see if my Jacko does get killed, so that, you know, people who are skeptical about the team can see the pitfalls. And I don't think that there's any team at the moment that's perfect. I think someone saying that their team is perfect would have to be kind of joking, or I don't know. You teach me the tech. You teach me the tech. But yeah, so the boss right now does have 4 buffs. I got unlucky with a couple of the debuffs. I didn't get Ken's S3, the attack down. Otherwise, if he's stuck at 3 buffs, he does not kill Jacko whatsoever, even in stealth. But we'll see how this goes. So it's still a bit RNG, but I think we'll be okay. But yeah, if Ken was on Rage, if Haste was on Rage, I think it would be even more amazing. But again, this is showcasing that only one of my damage dealers is on Rage, and that being Jacko. This is pretty consistent. I can even showcase a run after this. If my Hazel was not on the Soul Weaver fragment, she would do the S2 too early, and I won't manage to get him to proc like this. Proc me out of stealth with Touch of Red Cross healing. See, I'm at full health, right? So this is pretty good. So I get the full damage from the boss, and you can see that hardly does much to my Jacko. And this time I don't have the defense break landed on him. So now you're gonna see how I usually do it. Where the last one, the defense break was still left on him after he did the ultimate. So usually there will be a couple turns in between here until he gets the vigor up. I won't be able to get a defense break. So we're on Rift Counterforce turn 16 at the moment, and we're gonna get our defense break. And once that defense break is in, on Jacko's next turn, no matter what, he's dead. And then my haste does already do good damage, but we're gonna check the damage calc or the end battle results after this. But yeah, so now if Jacko gets the turn, like it's pretty much over for him. Well, I guess not without attack buff. So there's still a bit of RNG in the tuning, but you can see that it's pretty consistent. And you saw the stats on my Jacko on Torrent set, and it does have a HP release with Ken. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, he's not killing me at this point. You can see that he's not even at his ultimate, and even if he was, I still have 8 turns left. So we did pretty good here. 7 turns, 6 turns left, right? So pretty consistent for a 2-tap. I'm very satisfied with that. Obviously the gear drop could be better. But let's take a look at the battle results. Yeah, so I think with the lower HP, Jacko really shines, but I actually had a run. I screenshotted it with my Discord. Maybe I'll post it in the video here. I'm not quite sure if I can still find it, but my haste was MVP, which was really astounding. I really don't know why, but I think the only thing would be that he had attack buff up when Jacko got dispelled or something. But yeah, so as you can see, it's pretty consistent. Again, this entire thing was live recorded on purpose. The only inconsistency would be like, you know, me not getting the defense break. So I'm gonna do a run here with like whatever other fragment, okay? So let's use the night one, since I don't have a night one at all, so you can consider this completely disabled. And I'm just gonna showcase Hazel without it, how her turn cycling differs. So let me actually just sell this stuff 1 second. It's only to note that I think that the tech is honestly just give her the artifact, sorry, give her the fragment, so that your team like functionally has a totally different rotation, because she doesn't S2 on turn 1 here. So without the fragment, when he gets his turn, wait, I'm just gonna reset this. I'm gonna reset this for a sec, and I'm gonna be resetting it anyway, but I just wanted to showcase the turn difference. So with the fragment on, she will proceed with S1, and then it will change, it will cascade down all the way to the end of the fight. But if, okay, I got the defense break there, so this is how I do usually continue, right? Now we're gonna wait for, let's see, Kang out his turn. Okay, so when he does this, it will do enough damage that it will cause my, see, it will cause my Hazel to actually do the S2. So this means I'm now 1 less hit away from him doing his counter passive. But like you see, like, oh, it just happened there, but it totally changes the entire dynamic of the fight from here on out, right? Because my Hazel's cooldowns are also on a different cycle. So that was the game changer for me. And then now she's going to be S1ing, but then she's going to be kind of like fighting for her life, right? So that was just a demonstration of it. So the difference between that that fragment is a big one for me. Just in case if you got to level 8 and you're thinking like, oh, which one can I use? This one, in my opinion, if you're running this team, use this one. This one's insanely good. But that's just for me. That's just for me. So anyways, I think I'm gonna end this. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover for this. I will probably want to see what I can do by level 15, by level 21. Can I even one tap? If I do it and it's like the same team or whatever, I'll probably make another video. Who knows? This is a long event, and I'm not quite sure, you know, if I'll be excited to do the next one. But either way, that's pretty much it for this one. So if you watch and you learn something, hopefully this really does help, because I know that this content is pretty nutty. So I'm gonna end this for the video recording. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.